One of the greatest stories ever told in Batman lore returns with its long-awaited sequel, and also one of Batman's most notorious and dangerous villains. What am I talking about? Got to be talking about Batman issue 158. Oh, you didn't know? Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll this intro, cuz. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Matt the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel and another episode of Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the most recent issues in comics, as well as past issues, as well as character bios, if you ask for it. So today, we're talking about Batman issue 158, Batman Hush number 2. I am very, very excited about this book because once I realized Hush number 2 is out, I read that immediately. Now, I will tell you a little bit of a disclaimer. We're going to cover Batman, the Joker, and Hush in this issue. There are other key elements in this comic. Why did I miss out on those other key elements? Because I want you to go out there to your local comic book store and pick up your personal issue of Hush number 2. I want you to go out there and do that. Support your local comic book store. And if you're not a physical book reader, you can always go on your Kindle app, go on Comixology and read it digitally, or go to Global Comics. You can do that as well. But that's what you need to do, man, because this story is great. The artwork is great. I'm a huge Jim Lee fan, so Jim Lee is definitely one of my top 3 artists, if not my favorite artist of all time, obviously because of X-Men. But Jeff Loeb done phenomenal work in this because Hush did not disappoint. Obviously, there's an animated movie about Hush, but the comic, obviously, to me, is just a little bit better. You understand? Just a little bit better. So, before we get into Hush number 2, let's bring you up to speed of what happens in Hush. So, the thing is with Batman Hush is that this introduced a new villain. And this was really, it had all the key elements of a great story. It had action, it had mystery. It covered all the key parts of Batman. At least that's what it is, in my opinion. And as you're reading this story, you know, you're, as a reader, looking at it in the form of who is Hush? What's the identity of it? Is it somebody that's been under our noses this whole time? What exactly is going on? Now, disclaimer, spoiler alert. I really wouldn't say it's a spoiler because Hush been out for a very, very long time. But Hush is revealed to be Thomas Elliot, a longtime friend of Bruce Wayne. I mean long time, I'm talking like childhood friends, that kind of thing. And Thomas Elliot is a world-renowned surgeon. So whenever Batman deals with like key injuries and stuff like that, Alfred is usually the one that's nursing the health. But there's some things that are beyond Alfred's area of expertise. And when that happens, he calls on Thomas Elliot. Now in Batman Hush, I mean, he took a pretty nasty fall. And obviously Huntress came to save the day, put him in the Batmobile, send him over to Alfred, and he's unable to speak, but he's tapping the table in Morse code saying, listen, go ahead and contact Thomas Elliot, that way he can nurse me back to health. Batman plot armor. Yes, I know. So the thing is, there's a rogues gallery in this story. You got Poison Ivy, you got Catwoman, you got Killer Croc, you got Harley Quinn, you got the Joker, you got the Riddler, you got all these villains popping up. And you're like, this seems very, very, very familiar. And it is very familiar because if you go to the Batman Nightfall storyline, Batman was tested physically because anytime he stopped the villain, another villain popped up. It's almost like a domino effect. He had no rest period. And once he reached his limit, Bane pulls up, finishes the job, obviously the iconic back breaking over the knee, that kind of situation. But in this particular story, Batman is tested mentally. This man is taken to his absolute limit. Now, fast forward, once he figured out Thomas Elliot is indeed Hush, Hush gets shot by no other than Harvey Dent, a fully healed Harvey Dent. Now, Thomas Elliot's body was never found. So we don't know what happens to him. And it left us thinking, when will we see Hush again? When will we get a continuance of this storyline. And finally, we got to this point. Now, which goes to Hush number 2. So what's going on is he's trying to stop the Joker, and the Joker is poisoning the fish, or piranha fish. Obviously, they got the laughing faces, and he was like, why are you trying the same gag twice? Batman gets knocked into the water, and the fish proceeds to take Batman's mask off. Now, same type of premise, right? But it's two mechanisms that's in Batman's mask. There's like a certain gas that'll knock you out, and there is electricity. Now, obviously, electricity option actually went through, and you are in the water. Electricity travels through water. So once that happened, Batman electrocuted himself and the fish. Now, the person that saves Batman's life is not the Huntress this time. The person that saves Batman's life is Talia al Ghul. Now, I'm going to put a pin in that. That's one of the key elements that I'm going to just leave out on purpose. You know what I mean? But that's neither here or there. What's going on with this is that Joker is caught by this hulking character, busts his eardrums, and you see a foot in one of the panels saying, "Patient is better, but its fruit is sweet." And you learn that it is Hush. Now, Hush captures Joker, puts him on a spinning wheel, and proceeds to throw scalpels at this man, tortures this man. But this dialogue between Hush and Joker is very telling. He goes on to say, "I doubt you can hear me. The damage to your eardrums is incapacitating. The man you encountered tonight has a very unique gift. He goes by many names, but I prefer silence. I have found in life, when you want someone to listen to you, to actually comprehend your intent, do not raise your voice. Quite the opposite. Lower your voice. It draws them in to your whisper. You told me once, this town isn't big enough for two homicidal maniacs. I have news for you. I am not a maniac. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. This represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. I purposely nicked several of your arteries. You are bleeding to death deep inside your body. You might have 2 to 3 hours, maybe even a day or so. You could yell for help. Someone could come to your rescue. Let's do something about that. Fortunately, you're in the skilled hands of an unlicensed surgeon. The Joker is going to die. If only you had a family who will mourn for you." Now, this right here, with the Joker being tortured, one thing that I noticed in the panel is that Joker is crying. There's tears coming out of his face. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that with the Joker, right? Like for you to be tortured to that level by no other than Hush, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So this is what I mean where it tackles the mental psyche of Batman, because Batman was able to track down what happened to the Joker, because the Joker left the shoe at the crime scene because Joker went missing. So obviously, you know, Batman is the world's greatest detective. He's going to track the whereabouts. He's going to figure out what exactly is going on. So as Batman tracks Joker down, this is where his mental gets messed with once again. It says he was only a pawn. So many memories. Your old pal Jim Gordon, his beautiful daughter Barbara, your precious Robin that one really stung. So this is quite a pickle. Let's say you just left me here to die. Croak, kick the bucket. Since you know it's not like you did the deed, who would know? So with this situation, Joker is actually torturing Batman mentally, and it's also by the work of Hush. You got all these television screens going back to Batman's past, where Barbara Gordon got shot, got paralyzed from the waist down, where Jim Gordon got, pretty much embarrassed, and one of his greatest failures in Batman, Jason Todd dying and being revived by the Lazarus Pit. So this where this leaves off, because Batman again comes dangerously close of taking out the Joker, but he doesn't. And you know, Joker obviously is laughing his ass off at this point. He's like, you still couldn't pull the trigger, but Hush is still out there. Hush is orchestrating other things in the background. Joker is just the first step on what is to follow, but we don't know what exactly is going on. But I really do enjoy this storyline, because when Batman is overwhelmed, it makes it such a compelling story. One thing I will say though, if you want to like refamiliarize yourself with Batman Hush and you want to read the entire story in detail, DC has this initiative called DC Compact Comics. Now, you may have heard of it, you may have not, but DC Compact Comics is graphic novels in a regular book format. The entire story, some of the best stories in DC. Matter of fact, Batman Hush is right here for $10. That's it. For $10 whole, you can read the entire Batman Hush storyline. Now, if you're not really a physical comic book reader or a physical graphic novel reader, you can always go on your Kindle app, on your tablet, on your phone, or through Comixology and actually read Batman Hush to prepare yourself for issue 158. Now, speaking of Amazon, we at Orange Phoenix have our Orange Phoenix magazine. You may have heard of it. If you haven't, this is a perfect time to actually go there. So we are now on Amazon. That's right. For $7.99, you can get you an issue of Orange Phoenix magazine, single issue. Now, if you want to subscribe to our magazine, it is bi-monthly. That's right. If you can subscribe to our Patreon for only $5 a month, you can get your digital copy of Orange Phoenix magazine. And also, you will have access to these videos before it airs on YouTube. How cool is that? But you already know what to do. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. I hope you enjoyed the video and this short little synopsis as far as what's going on in issue 158 of Batman. Again, support your local comic book store, support your artists and comic book writers in this compelling storyline, because definitely going to be covering Batman Hush #2 in full detail in the future. So until next time, peace.